Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, so if you're looking to break into IT support, you are absolutely in the right place today. We're going to be talking about the gold standard for starting an IT career, the CompTIA A+ certification. But honestly, more importantly, we're talking about how to actually prepare for it and pass it without completely emptying your wallet. You know, studying for an IT cert can be notoriously expensive and honestly kind of confusing. I mean, people are out here dropping hundreds of dollars on prep materials before they even book the actual test. And the crazy part? It literally does not have to be that way. So let's dive right into the strategy. Let's start things off with a super critical question, one that trips up almost everyone at the start. Is CompTIA A+ just one exam? Seriously, this is the single biggest beginner mistake, and it costs people a massive amount of time, energy, and, yeah, money. What happens is, people go out and buy this giant textbook or they sign up for a ridiculously expensive course thinking they're studying for one giant test. They try to cram literally everything, from mobile devices all the way to operating systems, into their head all at once. And predictably, they get completely overwhelmed and just give up before they even take the test. So we really need to clear this up right off the bat. Okay, so here's the reality. Earning the CompTIA A+ certification actually requires you to pass two completely separate exams. You've got Core 1, which goes by the exam code 220-1101, and then you have Core 2, which is 220-1102. You don't just walk into a testing center and take the A+ exam. That's not a thing. You actually have to book, study for, and pass both of these cores to get that certification. And honestly, realizing this, it's a total game changer for your study plan because it means you can actually focus your energy. You just study for Core 1, go take the test, pass it, and then you completely shift your focus over to Core 2. Treating these as two completely distinct milestones is literally your first major key to success here. Now, because you're studying for two entirely different exams, getting fully prepared can easily take months. And that brings us to a really frustrating number. 29 euros, or roughly $30 depending on where you live, that is the typical monthly subscription cost that these competing prep platforms will charge you just to practice. And remember, that is per month. When you're spending months preparing for two separate courses, that 29 a month adds up incredibly fast. It practically turns what should be a straightforward career move into a serious financial burden. And because of those crazy high costs, students usually find themselves trapped between two, frankly, terrible options. First up, you've got your dump sites. You know the ones. Shady, massive lists of questions with zero explanations attached. You just end up mindlessly memorizing that the answer to question 42 is C. So you're memorizing letters, right? But you aren't actually understanding the context. So the second CompTIA rephrases the question even slightly on exam day, you fail. On the other side, you have these paywalled platforms. They're so frustrating. They'll tease you with a few free questions, and then right when you finally hit your study rhythm, boom, they slam down this expensive paywall and demand a credit card if you want to keep going. Neither of these options actually helps you learn the material. Which brings us to a much, much better solution. I want to introduce you to CertBase. It's this small independent project, and it's built on a radically simple belief. Studying for a certification absolutely shouldn't cost you $30 a month. It's a dedicated practice platform designed for IT certification exams. We're talking CompTIA, AWS, Azure, Cisco, plus like 25 other providers. The whole point is to be the completely free alternative to those expensive gated practice tests. It gives you the real, high-quality prep you actually need for the 1101 and 1102 exams, just without that ridiculous price tag. And hey, when I say free, I mean 100% free, forever. No joke. There is no sneaky premium tier hiding in the background. There's no annoying paywall that's going to pop up after 3 questions just to ruin your day. You don't need a credit card, and honestly, you don't even have to create an account to start practicing. You get full access to a massive bank of over 130,000 questions across all those different providers. It's just completely frictionless learning, specifically designed for self-learners who are working on a budget. But look, a free platform is only actually useful if it, works, right? And CertBase isn't just some basic question bank. It's really a full suite of study tools that are built around 4 core features. You've got written explanations, a dedicated quiz mode, automatic wrong answer tracking, and community discussions. And each of these tools is purposefully designed to attack a totally different part of your study process. They literally walk you from that initial learning phase all the way to feeling 100% ready on exam day. The whole platform is built around this one absolutely crucial philosophy: learn the why, not just the right letter. And this right here is the direct antidote to those terrible dump sites we talked about earlier. When you're in study mode and you answer a question, you don't just get a simple green check mark or a red cross. Instead, you immediately get a detailed AI-generated written explanation. So you learn exactly why the correct answer is the right one, and honestly, just as importantly, why all the other options are wrong. You can take your time, really read through the reasoning, and only move on to the next question when the underlying concept actually clicks in your brain. Okay, but once you actually understand the concepts, you've got to prepare for the actual pressure of the test room. And that is where quiz mode comes in. This is a timed, exam-like run. It gives you a fixed set of questions, a ticking countdown timer, and it perfectly matches the exact pace of the official CompTIA exam. And here's the best part. The explanations are hidden while you test, just like the real deal. It totally takes the training wheels off. That way, when you finally sit down to take your real A+ Core 1 or Core 2, the environment feels totally familiar to you, and your test anxiety is practically at zero. So what happens after you finish that quiz? Well, CertBase automatically tracks your wrong answers to reveal your exact weak spots. Say you get a 90% in hardware, but a 40% in networking. The platform knows. Every single missed question gets saved in one convenient place. This is a huge deal, because in those days right before your exam, you are not wasting your precious time reviewing stuff you already know. Instead, you're hyper-targeting your weak gaps, which makes your final review incredibly efficient. Plus, you never have to feel like you're studying entirely alone. Every single question on there features a dedicated community discussion thread, so you can jump in and join other self-learners who are studying for the exact same CompTIA exam as you. You can compare your reasoning, clarify some of that confusing CompTIA wording, and most importantly, spot the tricky little exam traps that they absolutely love to set. Oftentimes, fellow students will hop in and surface the absolute best answer or drop a really handy mnemonic to help you remember a tough concept. It is peer-to-peer learning at its absolute finest. Right? So how do we take all of this and turn it into a highly actionable game plan that you can literally start today? Step 1, pick a lane. You've got to choose either Core 1, the 1101, or Core 2, the 1102, to focus on first. Seriously, whatever you do, do not try to study for both at once. Step 2, go take a timed practice quiz. This establishes your baseline and gets you used to the exam format. Step 3, review the written explanations specifically for the questions you got wrong so you can target those weak spots. I promise you, this loop right here, test, identify gaps, learn the why, is absolutely the most efficient way to prepare. The A+ certification is an incredibly valuable key to unlocking your IT career, but getting ready for it should not cost you a small fortune. So my challenge to you is pretty simple. Stop overpaying for practice tests. You've got the structure, you've got the strategy, and now you've got the tool. Just head over to www.certbase.pro. I guess the only question left for you is, which core are you going to tackle first? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, best of luck on your certification journey. You've got this.